meet everyone. Welcome back to Midnight Fantasy Creation. Today we are doing a nice, fun Harry Potter inspired jewelry. So I want to do what I'm calling house potions. And I'm going to make an earring and a pendant. Now I got these bottles online and they come with corks. I did separate them to make it easier to find them because they threw them all in the same bag. I think this came with 200 bottles. There's either 100 or 200 small little vials. So you have the corks to go with the vials. Now, I also went to the dollar store to get bigger vials for necklaces, so you can have matching necklaces. And I also got, so the dollar store has these glass vials with the rubber corks in them, so they're much larger than the little vials. I'm making some little ones for the earrings and then some larger ones for the pendant. Now, I do want to try to get wire to go around the bottle with eye holes to connect to the bottle so it stays more centered, I guess you can say, than opposed to having it dangle from the top of the cork. But if that doesn't work out, we'll probably be doing it the same way I'm doing the earring. And I also got these from the dollar store. They're glass dropper bottles to actually make the potion inside and make it easier to transfer to the little bottles. So that way we can make a larger batch and I don't have to worry about it like drying up. In fact, I want to check this will even fit. So yeah, this will actually fit in the opening far enough so you shouldn't get it all over the place, but air does need to get through it. This should work at keeping your potion, I guess you can say, from drying out right away. Now, I did watch a YouTube video on how to make the color shift potion bottles, and there's two ways to do them. I will probably put on the screen somewhere around here person who did the video on the potion bottles. I want to say it was crafting and baking something. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I definitely will add her link or her YouTube website in the descriptions. So I'm going to start with making the potions first. And I've got enough bottles for one of each of the houses in the Harry Potter houses. And of course, this comes in a nice 6-pack. So you definitely have enough for each one of the Harry Potter houses and then some. So I did buy a bunch of these eyedropper bottles. Now, in the video I watched, she said you could do both rubbing alcohol and distilled water. You can use regular water, but there's a good chance this stuff will grow in it. So you have to add glycerin in, which I do have, and I am going to be adding it into mine, even though I do have distilled water, because it does help slow down the glitter so it's not sinking as quickly. And I think she even said you can do straight up glycerin, but I would have to rewatch the video to be sure of that. All right, now I did have a funnel. Let's see if I can find that real quick. So I got this I'm pretty sure I got this funnel at the grocery store. Walmart maybe. I'm not 100% where I got it, but I'm pretty sure you can get funnels on Amazon as well. I'm going to use this to make it easier to put the water in. As for the glitter, I may need to make mixtures in my little containers. Some of these are actually quite stained. I don't have too much light because I noticed in some of the videos I have edited, there have been some fluctuation with the light. I don't know why the camera is picking up on it and adjusting, but I do apologize. So I can mix them in here. It does have a little glitter in it. And then pour it in the funnel or in the bottle direct. That works. I haven't used these before, so I don't know how well these are gonna work, but I have done the bottles before, and I did them in rubbing alcohol, and I sealed them with UV resin so they wouldn't leak, but they still evaporated because I think the alcohol actually broke through the UV resin because I did seal the bottoms of the corks in UV, so the alcohol would evaporate, and it did not work too well, which is why I'm doing this in water. water, and I'm going to show you guys how to do this in water. If you want to do it in rubbing alcohol, you can find them with a plastic cork like this one. This one is a plastic cork. I haven't sealed this, and this has the alcohol mixture in with the glitter, and it so far I've had it out for a few days now and it hasn't done anything. I don't care for how these look. I wanted them to look like actual potion bottles, so I found a new way to seal the cork, and I think it's gonna work pretty good. Let's see, which one do I want to do first? Well, let's get some of these out of the way. And I'm sorry for the angle, so we are just going to take this off. I'm going to lay that, put that there, and we're going to put some water in here. And we are going to fill the bottle up. Well, this one doesn't really matter, just don't overfill it. Probably going to put about this much water in for now. I know that seems like a lot, but it should be fine, and it means I can make as many earrings and necklaces as I like. And of course, I'm using distilled water, and I got this at Market Basket. If you guys have a Market Basket near you, you can get them at Walmart. This was only $1, and I am going to use one of these little squeegee things. Actually, no. Well, that's a small squeegee. I wish I have a big one. I'm gonna take this off camera and I'm just gonna pour it in, but I don't want to spill it all over the place, so. Which I'm gonna do anyways. Okay. Well, that's gonna slowly drain. Oh. Perfect. That was enough. I didn't need to do much. Okay, awesome. And we are gonna do the Gryffindor colors first. Now, it has red and gold in their house colors. And so I'm using my giant golds from Marbles. They come in little baggies. I stuck them in containers to make it easier to work with because the baggies like to make a mess. An additional powder in, I used my metallic powder. This is like a really ultra fine gold. It gives it a really cool effect. Does not like water whatsoever. It just floats on the top and it doesn't really do much. So I'm not putting it in the water mixture as much as I am with the alcohol mixture. So that is the only difference for today. So I'm putting that right here, and we are gonna take out, I'm using this tool take out the glitters. Now this has a really cool effect when you mix the glitters in with the alcohol. And that's a big bottle, so I'm gonna dump a good generous amount in there. And I'm probably gonna do 4 or 5 drops. That was 5 drops. Actually, that's a big bottle. Let's do 6. Oh, that was 7. Now, it's not going to stain the glitter, which is good. And then I want to add a little glycerin in. Oh, that looks very pretty. But see how thick that is with the glycerin? That glitter is not moving. I don't want it that thick, but I do want it to slowly settle. So I wonder if this will fit in here so I can clean this off. Now, I wish I had my other stand because that would be much better, but at the moment I don't. I mean, it's powered up, but so we're going to pour this in and we're going to make our potion. The way she does it, I don't remember exactly what mixture she did first, or if she did water versus the rubbing alcohol. But when she put it in, it had this really cool effect, and you could see the stuff working. But I'm going to just give this a nice shake to mix that up. And there we have our Griffin House color potion. And I will be having these available to buy online as well as on Etsy. And I will be calling these house potions. I will probably also be doing some mana and health potions as well as some other Harry Potter inspired potions because I did get a bunch of bottles. So if you guys really want to see me make different potion bottles or like video game inspired or Harry Potter inspired, I could definitely do that. So there's our Gryffindor one. Next, we are going to do the Ravenclaw. Spray. So I got some rubbing alcohol, 99% rubbing alcohol, and I'm just going to spray this down and then wipe it out with a rag. You can also go to the sink and just rinse it out. I do have a septic tank in my house, so I'd rather not make it all glittery. Not that I think it would clog it, but... Alright, so we are doing the Ravenclaw. I am doing... Let's see... Sky blue. We are going to do sapphire blue, and their house colors are bronze. So I'm using the maple pearl from Marbles. I tried looking to see if they had other metallic colors, and the pearls are the closest thing I could find to their metallic colors that are very glittery and pretty. Let's put a couple good scoops in there. And let's see, we did 6, technically 7 drops of the red. I don't know if that's too red. Well, that should be fine. So I'm going to leave 6 because this is a very dark color. And if I have to dilute it, I want to be able to. Just enough glycerin to fill the bottom. And we are going to stir. That sit and make sure there's enough blue in there. For this, there is plenty of red. That gold is settled for the most part. That's a good shade of red. That's a good Ravenclaw red. Slytherin house. Getting pretty low. So Slytherin's house is green and silver. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do Hufflepuff because Slytherin's going to be a little more complicated. And I am going to use, see, I don't know if I want to do the yellow or the lemon. I use a lot of my lemon. I like my lemon. I'm going to use yellow. All right, and then they are black. So I have this Midnight Pearl for Hufflepuff. And this is like a nice gunmetal black. So this is like a nice metallic black, actually, essentially. It's a very pretty color. Yeah, I put way too much bronze in that bottle. Again, don't want to put too much yellow because I don't want to intensify it too much. Glycerin in there. Put some glycerin in there. Just enough to kind of fill the bottom. Basically, that's what I'm doing, is I'm putting enough in there just to fill the bottom of my little cup. See, yeah, you can see the pigment in this, so that's good. Now for pigment with the water, it is better to use like a watercolor, a food color, I mean. Oh, watercolor probably would work too. In the video, she does give a more in-depth detail of what supplies can be used to achieve your potions. I am basically doing it this way because this is going to give me the best results for the jewelry. And we're going to pour that in. I really should do this on a side view, so I might do another potion video just so you can get a good side view of what this looks like instead of an overhead view, because this actually looks kind of cool watching it pour in. Too much water in this one. Check that out. That looks so cool. You can see the black. That was a lot of bronze in there. I may need to pull half of this into another bottle just to dilute some of that bronze. Yeah, I might do that. All right, I'm going to do that off camera. Now, Slytherins. And I say this one's going to be difficult only because I don't have a silver glitter. So I need to cocktail a couple of glitters to make it look silver. I'm going to put some water in that, which I did for the rubbing alcohol, and it came out really nicely. But I also put the silver mica powder in it, kind of help it look more silver. I can't do that with the water because it does not mix very well in the water. And Slytherin is green and silver, like I said. And I am using, where's my greens? See, that's yellow, that's purple, green should be over here. I like, I'm gonna use my grass green, and then I'm using the Luna Pearl with the Midnight Pearl to give it more of a silver. Hopefully. We'll see how that looks. Try not to put too much silver in it or glitter. So I'm going to do one scoop, a little scoop of the black, because I can always add more black if it's not dark enough. And then one scoop of the Luna, more of a generous portion. Oh, I have to clean this off. This thing is all glittery now. And this stuff likes to go everywhere. I don't know if you can see the glitter on the camera in the air, but it's crazy how that stuff goes everywhere. And then we're going to do 6 drops of green. And fill the base with glycerin. Go, and of course, stir and see what the color looks like. That's a nice green with a nice silver. I don't know if I want to add a little more black to that. I think that's good. Should be fine. Okay. We are going to pour it in our bottle. And shake. That looks really cool. All right. You see this? Still a lot of bronze in there. Wow. That looks fine. Maybe it's just sticking to the glass. I hope not. All right. So for the earring part, you're going to get the corks ready. And I need to clean off this table. I'm gonna have to give this a thorough cleaning later, but it is good enough for now. So on Amazon, I went and got this invisible waterproof glue. Actually is meant to seal, so it's for all weather performance, which, you know, snow, ice, water, sand, because it's supposed to be for outdoors, and it's eco-friendly. I think it's supposed to be for sealing wood because it looks like they have a wood in the back, like your wood decks, but I'm going to use it to seal the cork, because when I went looking for like waterproof sealers, this popped up. I think it was $13. It comes with rubber gloves, directions, 2 brushes, which are really cool. I'm going to use that for something else. Wicked soft too. And then the rubber sealer. So I'm going to put gloves on. I don't know how toxic this is to the skin, even though it says eco-friendly, but they give you gloves for a reason. I'm assuming you need to use them. So I've got this opened, putting the gloves on. Of course, I'm still touching things I shouldn't be touching. And where did I put? So I went and got flathead wire. I know they're called flathead. I don't know if they're called wire or something else, but it is a flathead wire for this purpose. If you saw me do the skull video, cherry skull earring video, those are the ones that I used in that video as well, and we're using it in this one. So I got a nice pack at Walmart, both in silver and gold. I'm going to take out a silver one, and you're going to take your cork. I'm going to move this off to the side so I don't drop the cork in there. And then you're going to go from the bottom, because you want the flat head to be on the bottom to hold, to make sure the wire doesn't fall out of the cork. Now you can buy little miniature bottles with, I have it, yeah, it's right there. I like screwed on, what do you call with an eye you can screw on. I don't like those because I've had keychains with those made on them, and they eventually lose their holds. They loosen up, and oh, I got my glove in there. You want to try and aim for the center as best you can. That's not too bad. And the more you do this, the more you can actually feel if you aimed center. Even if you hit this in the center, the wire may be bent and it may go off center, which is kind of like what we did here. But you want to push that all the way through. So you can get these things. Again, I don't care for them as much. It's why I didn't use them in my skull earrings. So these are little screws with the eye for hooking them in jewelry and stuff. Like I said, I've had a keychain. It's loosened up and fallen out, and I've lost my little charm that was on it. So I don't care for these too much, but it came in a set, so I had to take it. So we've got this ready, and all we're gonna do is dip it in the bucket and make sure that it is covered all the way to the wire and make that completely sealed. Now I like running this on the outside to kind of get rid of any extra liquid, scraping it just ever so slightly. You still want it saturated and wet. And then actually, hold on, this is wet. Okay. And then kind of running this along the edge to get as much of the extra off as possible. They do say you're supposed to do a thin coat. You can also take a brush and brush it on, because you are supposed to technically take a brush and brush it. But I like dipping it. It works just fine. And you're supposed to do 2 coats. This way, I think, allows you to get away with 1 coat, especially since we're not using it for outdoor means. Oh, I was supposed to make the hook on this first. So I totally spaced it. Oh, where's my little tool? I was supposed to make the little eye hole first. I'm doing that for a very good reason. So to make I'm gonna put that away. To make the little eye hole, like I showed you in those to make that little eye hole, you take one of these tools, you pinch it about halfway, roughly, just like that, and you bend it all the way around until it touches. And then you can take it out me, and bend it in the opposite direction to make a little eye hole. Totally forgot. And just pinch it shut. And if it goes like crooked, you can use these little flat needle nose pliers and straighten them out. The reason why I wanted to do that is you can take a toothpick, stick it through said eye hole, all right, and hang it to dry. Now I have 2 of these little containers. They're just high enough where I can rest this and let it sit overnight. You are supposed to let it sit for 24 hours. I'm going to do the rest off of camera, and then I'll be back tomorrow when they're all cured and done. I've got the silver ones ready. I need another bottle. And the silver ones were the Slytherin house. So we have our lovely Slytherin potion with its green and silver. So mix this up really well. Take the eyedropper off, squish the nozzle, get all that air out and suck up as much as you can. And you want the glitter in there. And then we're just gonna hover it over the bottle and drop it in. Mix this every time because the glitter is going to settle quite instantly. And make sure you get some air circulating through that and drop it in. And then we are going to take our lovely sealed corks and just stick them in the bottle. Push them in very good. Get them in there fairly decent. Examine your potion. Make sure there's enough glitter in there. And it looks like there is. There we go. And if you like what you see, we are going to take that sealer that we used to seal the corks and we are just going to seal around the edges because that stuff works really good as an actual glue. And I'm going to use a micro brush to do that. And then you're going to let it sit for 24 hours. And then I'll show you how to do the to finish it off. I'm not going to use the traditional the micro brush. I'm going to use this eyeliner micro brush. This is a fresh one I just took out of its little tube. You got to break it because it gets a little stiff, or break the little cast they make because they make it stiff. And I'm not going to use gloves for this part. I'm just going to be very careful. So we have our sealer, and I'm just going to dab it in there. And then we're going to take our bottle, and we're just going to go right along the, where the cork meets the glass, and we're just going to brush it on. You may want to put 2 coats for this. So if I need to do 2 coats, I will let you know. And then you do need to wait. You can do, I'll have to read the directions. I'll probably do that real quick. I think you could put the second coat on after, I think it was an hour, but you have to let it fully cure within 24 hours. Let me grab the directions real quick. Instructions: clean surface, ensure it is free from dust. Use a brush to evenly apply waterproof transparent adhesive onto the substrate. Okay. Apply at least 2 coats for better result. A curing time of 24 to 48 hours is required to form a waterproof layer. Please avoid mixing our product with any additional substance such as cement or sand. So it does not say how long to wait in between coats. So I will let you know how long it took me to do the 2 coats. I'll probably do the rest of these off camera just because it's going to take a very long time to do these on camera. But once that is all done, I will be back and I will show you the finished sealed results. And then I will show you how to cut the wire and put a new eye on it for the fishhook earrings. I also did order some not child safety. I also ordered, what is it called? Clip-on ear, for earrings. So if you don't have piercings and you want the clip-on version, I do have them coming in. So that will be an option on both my online store as well as my Etsy shop for any of my handmade earrings. That way, if you don't have some of my earrings, I can switch them over to the clip-on. You will have to message me. Etsy's a little easier. My online store, I'll leave a note in there how you can message me on my online store if you want a clip-on earring. All right, so I'm going to set that aside. These are done, so we are going to trim them down and give the little eye hole, and I can actually finish the earrings now. I'm only going to show you how to do one of these on camera because, again, they're all going to be the same. You don't need to see me do all 4 houses, and because of the earrings, that's 8 bottles. You don't need to see me do 8 bottles. So I will do the rest of these off camera, but I will show you how I did this. So this part is actually going to be a lot easier. I go about halfway from the tip to the base to get a good size. So you are going to want to wrap this all the way around. Actually, you're probably going to want to bend it first. There we go. And then wrap it all the way around as much as you can go. So that's fine. And then we are going to just cut it right about here so we can close it. And then you can actually grab onto this eye hole to make sure it doesn't shoot off because it will go flying. I've had a few go flying. So it's actually really nice to have that eye hole here, not only to hang the corks to let them dry, but now you have a piece of wire for jewelry that already has an eye hole on it for another day. So you can save the extra wire for another project. Now we're going to just finish closing this, remember, about halfway, and just finish bending it all the way around and then just getting it to go a little more centered. Now I probably could have done that a little bit shorter, but this might actually work to my advantage because now it's in the cork and I'm less likely to lose the earring or the hook off of the bottle itself. Now as for the earring hook, let's see, where did I put my hooks? I will do these because these are here. I have a whole set. This came in a nice kit. I will link this. I do want to mention that these aren't very sturdy. I got it because it had a nice variety and I could do a nice variety of metals to go with whatever jewelry I was doing, but these are fairly weak in terms of being able to constantly bend and shift it. Just keep that in mind sometimes. And this one, see, this one came with tweezers. This is what I mean. Like, you can get a jewelry kit and sometimes they come with tweezers, which is nice. These are still attached to the container. And this one comes with like different rubber stoppers, I guess you can say, for the rubber backings for the hooks, so the hooks don't fall out of your ears. And with the different designs, you can pick whichever one suits whatever jewelry pattern you are trying to go for. I like for the hooks to either be these round ones, depending on how heavy or big it is. You can probably go for the bigger round one, whoops, on the back, and then they have the smaller, very basic ones. These would probably be really good for more lightweight, probably stud earrings, but I don't know why they gave you such small ones. And then they have these little, almost like flower-like ones that I like to do. I did a few of these on the cherry blossoms, and then they have these. These would work really good for long, heavy, dangled earrings because they add an added support. These bottles aren't that heavy, and I'm not not making them long and dangly. So I am just going to wind up using one of these round ones because it is a little big, and this will give it more support. And then let's see, we did gold for the Griffin. One of these out, and I am just going to attach it straight onto the bottle. I'm not doing anything fancy with it. You can add a chain, make it longer and have it dangle. You can have an extra chain on it and maybe even put like, say if you had a lion, because the Griffin is the lion, their house is the lion. And then, so to put this on, you want to bend this away, not out, but just twist it to bend it in this kind of a fashion. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but you want to bend it out so it's not, you don't want to, it's hard to explain exactly how to word this, but this is how it should look when you bend it. So it makes more of an S pattern as opposed to a C. There we go. So you want to bend it out so it looks more like, a Z or an S pattern instead of you bending it out this way. If you bend it out this way, you are weakening the wire way worse than you would be if you bent it in more of an S pattern. So we're just going to hook it on, and then we're going to bend it right back to where it was. And then, of course, you can always pinch if you need to. Of course, use the right one for that. Where did I put it? A needle nose plier or just regular plier, and you can just pinch it just a little bit. And then this ball actually helps tuck to keep anything from falling out too much. And then you have your earring. And we are going to do the same thing to this one. And then you take the rubber backing, and then that would go on your ear, and this would keep the hook from coming out of your ear so easily. You don't need it. Hooks don't really need them, but I like having them because I found I've lost a few of my hooks. I don't have something keeping them in my ear because I'm not athletic, but I am pretty active in my life, especially being as a hairstylist. We are constantly moving and kind of shifting our head in different angles. And then being an artist and a crafter, I am constantly moving. So this helps add a little extra security to make sure that the earring stays in your ear and doesn't fall out. So I'm going to do the rest of these bottles offline or off camera. This has set for a few days just to see if they evaporate, and so far they still have liquid in it with a few adjustments. This one came out really well, and so did all the rest of these. So I showed you how to put the hooks on. I am pretty sure I know what we're on with this one because it didn't, again, this one was the first one I did, and it didn't happen to any of the other ones, so I'm assuming the seal wasn't perfect on this one because all the other ones worked very well. So do make sure you seal these really well before you put them in. I probably would recommend doing a second coat on the cork just to ensure it is properly sealed and there's no potential leaking from your potion bottles. But other than this one earring, this is actually working pretty good. Although, so I may have to redo one of the earrings, but the rest of them I will finish up off camera, and that will be it for this video. And in the next or in a future video, I will show you how to do the potion bottles. So definitely stay tuned for that because I have plenty of the house potions left to use. I'm not going to do a whole bunch of earrings because I don't know how well they're going to sell, but I would like to make a potion pendant to go with the earrings. And that'll give me a little more practice on the corks because the small bottles, you can't find rubber corks. You can find the plastic ones. So that is, like I mentioned before, this is an alternative, and this is actually working way better, but I don't like how they look. I do like more of the natural potion cork bottle look. So unless I can find a way to make this look like a cork, either painted or put like a cork just like decoratively over the top, that would be an alternative. But as for right now, the best bet would be to get a plastic or rubber cork for your potion bottles, because the traditional cork bottles do still leak if you do not properly seal them. And some of these, you don't want to waste your bottles, basically. So that's it for today's video. If you like what you see, hit the thumbs up. Of course, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you are not new to the channel and you have already subscribed, welcome back. I do appreciate all your support. Of course, comment below if you have any questions, if you have any suggestions. As always, just keep it kind, and I will I will do my best to read them at a timely manner. I know I haven't. I've been very busy, so some of them have taken a little while for me to respond to, and I do apologize about that. Also, you can check out anything that I make can be sold or can and will be sold on my Etsy store as well as my online store, so definitely check those out. If you don't see the items right away, it is either because I haven't put them up yet because I am falling a little bit behind, or they have already sold out, but definitely check in. I'm doing my best to keep up as much as possible with everything and still be able to get you guys videos out every week. So I will see you guys in the next video. Blessed be. Bye.